On August 11th of 2018, Big Game Forever Colorado hosted a wolf symposium in Grand Junction, Colorado. In December of 2018, the Colorado Stop the Wolf Coalition was formed. On January 10th, 2019, we went to Idaho to interview a lady who contracted the hydatid disease from wolves.
I kept getting worse. Finally, the doctors found a cyst in my liver, and they drained it, and that was supposed to be the end of it. But when I only got worse after that, eventually, through tests and specialists, we found out that I had contracted the hydatid disease.
Also in January, the coalition raised funds to go on RFD TV. With the help of Scott Oliver, on January 21st, 2019, we produced the Rural America Live broadcast. The coalition has created a website and a Facebook page where the public can get truthful information about wolves and the harmful consequences. The public can request a speaker presentation and can message us for questions and answers. Currently, we are building a statewide team of regional and county team leaders. We believe it is important that the counties protect themselves. We've engaged with county commissions, asking them to pass no wolf introduction resolutions. Moffat County was the first to pass a resolution. Currently, 35 counties are in opposition to wolf introduction. We have and will continue to produce educational YouTube videos. We are currently working with Hunter Nation and plan to do statewide tours with them this year. They will be bringing in key speakers such as Michael Waddell, Ted Nugent, Weston and Jody Clark, Jim Lipitor, Mark Osgeis, and Craig Morgan. The coalition will continue to do public education presentations at trade shows, to civic groups, and county events throughout this 2020 election cycle.
The following video clips are from the 2018 Wolf Symposium held in Grand Junction, Colorado.
Opening up the Wolf Symposium for Big Game Forever, we had speakers there that came in from as far away as Canada, multiple locations in the western United States, and we had a great discussion about the wolf issue here in Colorado and the potential problems that come along with that. We learned about the fact that the wolf by itself is a problem, but the diseases that the wolf can bring are incredibly serious and dangerous. My primary concern is the health and safety of all Coloradoans. And that's where we have to get the education part out there so people understand what this disease known as the hydatid disease is all about.
Eventually in 20 years there'll be no elk left. You'll have no hunting left and you'll have no moose left.
So let's talk about the reality if they get wolves into Colorado. Folks, you don't have trapping in this state. We kill about 260, 270 wolves a year. About half of those are from trapping. So I guess we put that in your mind. Is that the plan? You have to have trapping as a tool. You don't have snaring. You have to have all these tools in your box, and we're still not containing them. You don't have any of that here.
There's a lot of myth about wolves that they're afraid of man, that they only kill for food, that they only take the weak and the sick. And that's simply not consistent with wolf biology.
The next videos are excerpts taken from the Rural America live broadcast presented by RFD TV.
And there's documentation of 5 wolves that have come into Colorado. And you can even go on the division's website and actually see a video of a black wolf in the snow.
All right. Now, is there a movement to actually introduce wolves into Colorado right now?
Yes, there is. The Rocky Mountain Wolf Project and the Ted Turner Endangered Species Fund back in July told our Director of Parks and Wildlife that they were going to push for a ballot initiative to introduce wolves into the state of Colorado. And ironically,
I wish I knew who this person was. I was in one of those meetings, and he got me in the back of the room, and because I'd commented quite a little, and he says, yeah, these wolves are going to affect your livestock quite a bit. He says, they will train their young on your livestock in probably August and September. And I go, really, why is that? And he goes, well, the elk will be up high, the wolves will be denned down low in the valley floor where your livestock are, and that's what they'll train their pups on. And boy, have we seen it.
Just curious, when it comes to Yellowstone, do you think that it actually has become void now of elk and moose?
Well, yes, of course. And the severe decline in wildlife took place much earlier already. In fact, it was very, very quickly that it happened. I was for 1 week in Yellowstone 10 years ago, and we rode from morning to dusk through some of the finest moose country I've ever seen. And I have studied moose, and I've published a book on them. And in these 8 days, we saw not a single moose, we saw not a single track, we saw not a single feeding site. They were gone, absent. And statistically, we find that here now and again, moose does show up, but the reality is that this moose right now, the Shires moose, is on the way to extinction. The only place that it is found now is where the wolves are not found, such as in Colorado or in Utah at the present time, but in other localities, it is a goner.
You also have noticed quite a decline in the elk herd, haven't you?
Absolutely. I've spent the last 13 years filming in Yellowstone, and I flew the first privately funded independent aerial survey of the northern Yellowstone elk herd, and we went from 19,000 elk down to what my count showed at 938 animals, 0 bulls. The important part of that is, in all of that scenario, that the Fish and Game departments and the feds downplayed it the entire time.
Now we're looking at some video right now of some elk, and it's fascinating to watch from one perspective, but you were telling me before we came on the air, this entire herd that we're looking at here did not survive, right?
Yes, sir. Prior to the delisting, at this particular place, there was 90 bulls, bachelor bulls. And at that same time, they told us that wolves only killed the sick and the weak. But what we can observe here is that 90 bulls, bachelor bulls, were killed in 30 days by 11 wolves.
90
bulls in 30 days.
That's just hard to believe.
That's just what they do.
And it's such a large animal. Just amazing to me that can happen.
Their form of attack is stress first, weaken the animals, and then they just pick them off one at a time.
I think what people would be surprised at is they're not even consumed, are they?
Not at all. Very, very little. They do as much killing for sport as they do for food. And I would say in some cases, like in this case, it was many times higher.
Well, right now, there's a threat of a ballot initiative that the Rocky Mountain Wolf Project and the Ted Turner Endangered Species Fund are threatening for 2020. And that's why it's so important for us to get out and educate the public about this disease. Our friends from Idaho, Montana have, literally come down, and Dr. Geiss as well, to tell us the dangers of this. And we need to get out and educate the public. So we formed a coalition. The coalition is called Colorado Stop the Wolf Coalition. And so we're looking forward to educating the general public about wolves and the truth about the wolf, and not misleading information and the warm fuzzies about wolves. This is a very, very serious situation. And so we're asking the public, go to stopthewolf.org. You can learn, you can see the videos that we've seen tonight. And most of all, we need them to donate. It is going to take a tremendous amount of money to fight against the environmental movement. And Scott and Phil know that from being involved with this up north. And if we're going to save Colorado, then people have to get involved. And Scott's told us, and Phil's told us, and other people have told us, if we lose Colorado, we will lose the West.
The next videos are clips taken from the Stop the Wolf Coalition YouTube channel.
Consequently, we think about it Would we be doing the right thing or the wrong thing? And in order to be fair to all species, even the wolf, I think we should rethink the whole idea of wolf in this ecosystem. There's just no room for him.
They have filed a second ballot initiative, Initiative 107, which states the CPW Commission will have wolves released on designated lands. That includes our state wildlife areas.
This hydatid disease that the wolf carries, it is a dirty little secret. You never see anything talked about the hydatid disease or any kind of diseases that this wolf is carrying.
I'm Fred Eichler, and I've got some information that all sportsmen need to be aware of. The Rocky Mountain Wolf Project has released multiple initiatives in the state of Colorado to try and reintroduce wolves into the state. The problem is, one, there are already wolves in the state of Colorado from the Yellowstone herd that have been documented. The other problem is, wolves will devastate the wild game populations we have in Colorado.
First of all, I don't believe in managing wildlife through the ballot. That's my personal opinion, and I have seen the results of it. There are unintended consequences. You take the bear population, I mean, it has increased tremendously, and although we should be managing it as a former Colorado Parks and Wildlife, and now that I'm no longer there, but they're still trying to manage them. But your hands are tied because you can't even start hunting them until after September 2nd. I think when you take management away from professional wildlife biologists, I think you're making a mistake.
So the whole notion of wolf predation, minimizing or reducing the prevalence of chronic wasting disease in the environment is really, it's really not true. It just plain isn't. In my mind anyway, my opinion, I think it would be a vector to transmit the disease to other areas that maybe don't have it to this point.
So I was in meetings in around 2005 with the Fish and Wildlife Service where we had taken 48% of the known wolf population in western Wyoming, and it had still grown by a rate of 28%, which if you actually look at the numbers coming out of Alaska and Canada, that's pretty consistent with the fact that you can take 70% of the known population and remain static.
If we're going to protect Colorado, our Western way of life, and our hunting heritage, then join with us to educate Colorado to the harmful consequences of any wolf introduction. Go to stopthewolf.org and donate. Thanks for watching.